Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm back again with another, my second fragrance video. I've been saying this year, I'm going to do a lot more fragrance reviews, a lot more fragrance videos. I love fragrance and of course I love fashion. That's primarily what we focus on this channel, but fragrance is going to be a new point of emphasis this year. Happy New Year to everyone. Indeed, it's cold outside. We have a cold front. It's very, very, very appropriate for me to talk about this fragrance right here. Hermès, part of the Hermès line. You can see it on the outer ring. Ombre Narguilé. Of course, by the house of Hermès, made by none other than Monsieur Jean-Claude Ellena. Man, where do I start? This fragrance is the bee's knees. And I think I've said this in my first and only fragrance video I made on this channel. Was my fall top 10 fragrance video, and this was number one. So, and not only is it number one on that list, it's really, if you talk about all the fragrances I've ever smelled, all the fragrances I own, this is definitely top 5, probably top 3. It could be number 1. Actually, I'm not gonna say it's number 1. It's not my absolute favorite, but it's top 3. Or probably and it's probably not 3. I don't know, top 5 for sure. Let's just say that, top 5 for sure, right? But this fragrance really is good. Anybody who's really into niche fragrances, high-end designers, which is technically what this is. Again, it's the Hermès line. Hermès has designer fragrances like Twilly, which I have. And I don't even know some of the other Hermès design, regular designer fragrances, but I know the Hermès line. Great line. All of them are in eau de toilette concentration. This is no different. This is a 200 ml bottle. Man, this, again, what does this smell like? A really nice, warm, cozy blend of tonka bean, vanilla, amber accord, and cinnamon, first and foremost. I know that in the blurb, the story behind section on the Hermès site, it talks about fruit, honey, spices, and the kind of the shisha, smoky narguilé, smoky tobacco vibe. So there's some tobacco, and it's got the tobacco core, the sweet honey tobacco, kind of similar to tobacco vanille, Tom Ford, of course, and tobacco honey by Kilian, which we talked about in that top 10 fall fragrance video. Man, and so this fragrance, man, again, I've said it before, if you love Gourmands, I believe Robes 08, he's, one of the OGs in the fragrance community. He's got a crazy collection. He's put his nose on so many fragrances. This is, I believe, I saw his Fragrantica. I believe this is in his top 5 as well, as Bond Number 9, New Harlem, some of the other Gourmand. So he's got the nose for Gourmands like myself. In terms of wearability, seasonal, recommendations, obviously fall, winter comes to mind, but because also this fragrance has that apple pie vibe, again, I've talked about, it smells similar to any sort of dessert that features cinnamon, like apple pie, apple turnovers, apple fritters, even oatmeal, which isn't a dessert, obviously, but anything that's cinnamon heavy, bread pudding. This is kind of in that ballpark. So I think that, you could wear all year round if you just like to smell like a snack, for a lack of a better term. But to be honest, I wear anything all year round, especially because most of the time I'm in a climate controlled environment. I'm at work or something. So I'd wear it all year round. You do you. But as for me, in my house, we will wear Ombre Narguilé all year round, okay? Because apple pies, are associated with holidays like 4th of July in the summertime, good summer living and picnics and whatnot. And of course the cinnamon and the warm, cozy, carrot cakes in the spring. And so you can always find a reason to wear Ombre Narguilé, in my opinion. So wear what you want, but like I said, and it's, in the eau de toilette nature, the beautiful thing about the Hermès line is that it's eau de toilettes. Again, like I said, the eau de toilettes, so they're light and like they kind of have this, again, watercolor thing was a part of Jean-Claude's style. It was the running theme of this collection. And you can see, again, looking at the bottle, you can see like the bottom part is dyed, it's tinted rather like orange, and so the juice itself is pretty clear, as you can see. And so it's got this watercolor pastel kind of essence to it. That's really like, it's a perfect name for a line, Hermès. Absolutely perfect, because it's just, that's exactly what it is. It just runs like water color paint on a canvas. It's beautiful all the same, but it's not heavy, it's not thick. I feel like Oajan is way thicker. You can smell on the card, it's like a wall of honey. This is a lot lighter, it's a lot looser. It just kind of flows. There's space in between the fragrance. It just kind of wafts. Like, it doesn't ever feel suffocating. I've worn this in the dead of heat. So yeah, even Angel Share is a little bit more tucked and a little bit more opaque. This though is transparent. It's very, very, very appropriate all year round. It's very easy wear. Some of the other fragrances though that people, because I know a lot of people have not put their nose on this, and the price point of this is like $516 US before taxes for the 200 ml, and I think it's $325 for the 100 ml right now. The price of the good stuff in the fragrance community is getting so expensive, so it's unfortunate. It's another one of those things in life, haves and have-nots, unfortunately. But I know if you haven't put your nose on this, or you don't even want to after hearing the price point, this fragrance that's on this card, this is by Kilian's Angel Share. This is one that you can find in any Sephora and a few Neiman Marcus locations and stuff like that. It's technically a niche house, but actually they're starting to want a good amount for that. I think 50 ml, at least probably $300. Yeah, so like, to be honest with you, it's a better value probably to get this. And if you ask me, I think it's a slightly better fragrance. I do think this is more, it's a little sweeter. This is spicier. I thought they were closer than they were before like spraying them side by side. I remember before I got my nose on and eventually purchased Ombre Narguilé, I was familiar with Kilian's Angel Share. This is just more mature. I would say it's a little less sweet. It's definitely less sweet than the Kilian's Angel Share, and it's definitely spicier. So if you want something that focuses really on the cinnamon, like, and less of the tonka per se, Ombre Narguilé. If you want more of the tonka blend, Angel Share. And Oajan by Parfums de Marly. A sample here. This is kind of like in the middle. It's a little sweeter than Ombre Narguilé, but let me actually spray it. I have to refresh my nose. Let's give it a good spray. Get some of the opening. Yeah, they kind of open very similarly. Oh my gosh, like almost indistinguishable from one another, but this atomizer is crazy. That's crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. One of the best atomizers. Yeah. There's nothing like this though. There's nothing like this though. There's nothing like this though. I like Oajan a lot. It's heavier. I think there's a little bit more of that. It's the honey accord. Kind of, it's a little bit more forward. You get more of that honey that you get in tobacco honey or like zoologist bee. So yeah, all three are fantastic. And if money was no object, I would have all three. I think all three, you can notice a difference between all three. Again, they're not clones, but they are inspired by this. I think that's pretty obvious. But yeah, I really, really, really love this fragrance, man. It's again, when you talk about top gourmands, for me personally, again, Bonham and New Harlem, we talked about before. Tobacco Honey's one, Zoologist Bee is another one. Indol Tihota, again for like an ice cream vanilla. You want to talk about Spiritus Double Vanille. That is, we'll talk about that one. Trust me, I'm gonna make a video on that one as well. That one's phenomenal. That's, you know, I don't even want to. We'll talk about it down the road. But there are so many other gourmands. I think cinnamon-wise, though, again, I still think this is the best. If not, like I said, one of those other two, Angel Share or Oajan, Parfums de Marly. You can kind of put in, they're kind of like a trendy of cinnamon, I would say. I like Musk Ravageur, but I don't think Musk Ravageur is as gourmand as these. I think Frederic Malle just doesn't do gourmands, really. That's not really his style. And Maurice Roussel already kind of, you know, he had a vision with that. It's more of a sensual, sexual fragrance, you know, that has its kind of expresses like a prowess, really. So yeah, that's probably like what I'd say for gourmands, and to a certain degree, the Moon. If you like super jammy roses, if you like raspberry, like this is the best raspberry you will ever put your nose on in fragrance, in the fragrance world. At least let me know if you know a better raspberry accord that holds throughout the longevity of the fragrance than that. But yeah, so gourmand wise, back to Ombre Narguilé, this really is the bee's knees. I think that when you compare it to the other fragrances in the Hermès line, you know, like there's some great ones in there too. Again, if money was no object, I would have pretty much the whole line. Jean-Claude Ellena really got the party started with this line. I like the bottles, again, heavy glass. Look at the thick base. You know, like again, great atomizer, silver, metal cap, Hermès logo on the inside. You see the chrome finish on the top. Leather bound and stitched. You can see the seam right there where it connects on the top. Presentation's nice. This thing is heavy. It just feels substantial. It's classy. It's elegant. I like how they haven't changed the bottles like the exclusive line. Well, to be honest with you, pretty much all designer exclusive lines have maintained their packaging. Tom Ford private blends are still in that kind of chest piece bottle that everybody knows and loves. Guerlain is like really kind of the only one, but Guerlain is a niche brand, in my opinion. They're not a designer brand. They don't make clothes. They don't design clothes. You know, they're a niche brand. They make makeup and fragrances. You know, skincare products, lipsticks, and stuff like. But yeah, like the Chanel like exclusive line. Everybody's kind of kept. Now I think about it, the Privé, Dior line. So I guess it's par for the course, but still, I like this presentation. I think it's timeless. I think it can Stay the course. Miss Christine Nagel is now at the helm. She's done a few of these. Violet Valinka, the violet leather is very nice. That floral leather. Cedar Sambac is really good. Cedar and jasmine combination. But I would say this, out of this line, this one, of course, is one of the, if not the most, probably the most celebrated of this whole line. This one kind of puts this line on the map, like Spiritueuse Double Vanille, aka SDV, puts Guerlain on the map. I mean, Guerlain's La Métier high-end collection on the map. You know, it's the same thing. That's the gateway drug. That's the main attraction. That's what brings everybody into the ballpark, per se. So, you know, again, I still think that's the best one. Again, I think it's one of the best fragrances, period. You compare this fragrance to, I would say, like the other fragrances that are right behind it. I'll say Santal Masoya, Kier Dange, for sure, the leather of the angels. Again, that's on my list for this year. I love that frag. Bed of a Tonka is very nice. Poivre Samarkand, again. The pepper. And that's probably like my main ones. Those are probably my main ones. Probably top 5, I think. Kier Dange, Santal Masoya, Poivre Samarkand, Bed of a Tonka, and that one. Yeah, so I think that's the top 5. Yeah, like that's probably the top 5, but I still think this is the best. And you know, they say it's blends of honey of amber with the swirl of the orient. You know, another thing too, I've noticed with these high-end designer fragrance lines, the website doesn't detail the notes. You don't get a full note breakdown anymore, like really on any of the, like Tom Ford doesn't do it, Chanel like Exclusive doesn't do it, Hermès doesn't do it, because all it says here is Perfumer's Amber, which again, amber is an accord. For those of you who don't know, you know, you can't extract amber and, you know, get essential oils and whatnot from it. And then toasted sesame seed. So, and then, but you know, like stuff like Tonka's in it with the Coumarin, high on the list. Cinnamon with cinnamol is in there. I believe benzoate. I'm looking at the ingredients list. I believe benzoate is like vanilla, or vanillin. So, yeah, like it's a great fragrance. Again, it says it has a warm, sensual, enveloping, almost carnal smell. I wanted to imbue this idea of amber with the memory of the East. So yes, so that probably concludes my presentation. Ombre Narguilé, as I like to call it, Ombre Narguilé, as most people will say. Whatever you want to call it, however you pronounce it, call it one of the best. Call it beautiful. Call it stunning. Call it your favorite, possibly. Again, pick this up if you will, if you value my opinion. You know, for those of you who want to blind buy, can't go wrong with that. You're not going to be mad at that fragrance. You're really not. And if you are, don't be mad at me. So that concludes my video. Thank you very much for watching. You can like, comment, share, subscribe if you will. But yeah, I'm really going to make some fragrance videos. I could talk about anything really, but especially about fragrance and fashion and art. And this is exactly what it is. It's olfactory art. This is what fragrance is. It's art for your nose, one of the 5 senses, of course. So yeah, see you guys next time and stay tuned. I will be reviewing my fragrance collection as it continues to grow and build out one by one. I'll be doing videos around this about 15-20 minute mark. I feel like that's good, and I'll try to get it out. All right, so thank you very much. Just trying to follow in the footsteps of some of my favorite and some of the great and legendary fragrance YouTubers. So yeah, another aspect of the channel. For those of you who just like the fashion, everyone likes to smell good as well. I feel like fragrance, if you're big into fashion, you probably at least are a casual fragrance wearer. I highly doubt like you're super into fashion and don't wear any fragrance. I highly doubt it. So my audience should appreciate these recommendations, these videos, whatnot. If not, I know you do because you're still watching. Again, thank you very much. I'll see you next